Good day and welcome back to your Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. I want to thank you for joining me, and let's see where we want to go today. We're going to be looking at integrating our shadow today. What we're doing is we're picking up on our most recent post and exercise. I gave you an exercise in our last meeting that was intended to open up our minds and our hearts into being more honest with ourselves, and also with really focusing on how can we increase our self-compassion in that honesty. This entire discussion, both in our most recent post and today, is prompted by a Facebook Live event that I shared just last week with my dear friend and partner here in recovery. She's contributed so much to your Vitality Project. This is a special shout out of gratitude to Angela McLeod. Angela joins me every Friday in the evening for always a creative dialogue into everything that is relevant to your Vitality Project, specifically around addiction, recovery, and living vital lives. She's a fantastic partner in our ongoing conversation over many years now. Last Friday, Angela brought up what I think is an incredibly valuable point. In fact, she usually does. And her point was this, that any quality that we have and that we value typically has its complementary opposite, sometimes something that we don't value as much, but if you dig deep enough, there's usually something worthwhile and useful about that quality, that complementary quality. Maybe it's useful in other situations other than the one in which we're currently frustrated or disappointed that it came out. So what she's saying is that things that look like opposites may not be so opposite. In fact, both ends of the spectrum might be very helpful. So the bottom line here is we need to be careful about so prioritizing certain ways of being, the ways that we like being, to be careful about putting so much emphasis on those ways of being that we do what psychology calls splitting off. We split off, we risk splitting off other parts of ourselves, which might help fill out the picture of our lives and actually might be very useful if we really want to be fully functioning in the world. So thank you, Angela, for that contribution. And it's in that spirit, I'd like you to consider an exercise today. I want to ask you to do something. We've been doing this for the last several posts, but let's do it again. List 3 qualities, attitudes, or behaviors within your own repertoire, your own personal style, things that you really like and value about yourself. 3 qualities. Now, I'd like you to work on picking what you imagine to be the complementary opposite of those three aspects of who you are. Let me give you a couple of examples. If you picked kind as one of the qualities that you value about yourself, then perhaps its opposite complement might be something like mean. If you picked hardworking as one valued quality of yours, how about lazy as its opposite? I think you get the idea. Now, what I want you to do with these 3 so-called opposites is I want you to go into each one of those and see if you can locate an instance in which each one of these complementary qualities, these are oftentimes the less appreciated ones, these complementary qualities where it may have served you beneficially. Can you find a useful application of that quality with which you're not so identified or maybe sometimes frustrated by? Can you exercise some imagination here? What we're doing is what the American poet Robert Bly called eating your shadow. It's taking your shadow, and rather than splitting it off like we were talking about earlier, it's beginning to own up to the shadowy parts of ourselves and to integrate those parts rather than to relegate them to the shadows. So let's see what you uncover in this exercise, okay? I want to thank you again for joining me. Good luck with the exercise. Please stay safe, be well, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon.